Hey guys, welcome back. I'm glad you get to see us again. We're going to do some more training for you. Okay, so today we're going to talk about the importance of having a budget. Okay, this is, one of the most important topics or conversations we can have. Obviously, a budget is important no matter what you're doing in life. Working an 8 to 5, running your personal home. But especially when you're in a commission-based industry like real estate. Okay, so we're going to give you some tips. We'll give you some specific percentages, some generic ideas. But really, this is a conversation that, to go to the next level, needs to be on a one-on-one basis. And when we get done here, maybe you'll want to sit down with us. Maybe you won't. Just kind of depends. But if you do, we'd love the opportunity to help. So we're going to dive into a few things here about budgeting and percentages and taxes and all that good stuff.
So as a general rule, obviously some of this stuff is going to be familiar to you, but spend less than you make. This is just a general concept, but it really applies when you're talking to a commission-based business because you're not making the same amount every single month. And so, for example, it's kind of like a farmer. You have seasons where you're going to make a lot of money in a few months, and there's going to be some months where you don't make as much money. And so that budget is really going to help kind of put some parameters in place for the times when you do make a lot of money and when you don't. Just because you make $10,000 in one month doesn't mean you need to go spend $10,000 that month on something. Maybe you can, but I would not recommend it. So it's good to have an idea what that budget is and set in place. And like Adam said, what I would do if you're a brand new agent is start with just your personal budget at your house. If you don't have one, or you haven't done it in a while, or you haven't revisited it, whatever, these are things that continually change. So it's good to look into every few months to update and things like that. But sit down with your spouse, or if you're by yourself, figure out what your expenses are and what your income is. Now, as an agent, if you're new, you don't know exactly how much money you're going to make in real estate. Maybe you have a goal to sell 1 or 2 houses a month or whatever it is, but just figure out where that money is going and keep track of that as a good start, to budgeting.
So some specific things to help, especially get you started. So most people have never done a budget before. So where do you start? So what I would recommend is you start actually with a profit and loss statement. So every month, like Aaron said, every month you figure out where your money went. So how do you do that? You print off your bank statement and literally you start making categories and you say, how much did I spend in food this month? How much did I spend on office supplies or whatever it is? And then you start categorizing the stuff, and after a few months you realize kind of where your money's going, and that now it's easier to actually create the budget. And you can start telling your money where to go. That's the beautiful thing about a budget is your budget tells your money where to go instead of you just always reacting and trying to out-earn your spending.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that you can get in a quick trap of trying to, I got to make more money to pay my bills. I got to make more money to pay my bills when you can just prepare for the future. Some systems that we recommend, just a good old-fashioned spreadsheet if you want to use that. Dave Ramsey has some tips. He's got some good things that we like. If you're trying to get out of debt or you're trying to do a few things, he's got some good systems. We use QuickBooks on a business standpoint. It connects with all your bank accounts, credit cards. You can write checks through it. You can do all kinds of stuff. So it depends. There's lots of systems out there depending on what your goals are. So first start with your budget and then figure out what that system is going to help, to help you get there.
Okay. So let's talk about taxes before we talk about percentages of saving and all that. So, you want to do taxes?
Sure. So taxes, this is one of the topics that we recommend you getting an accountant, especially as you're starting to become a real estate agent, or if you've been doing this for a while. If you're really good with numbers and you want to do it yourself, that's totally fine. But an accountant is an expert in showing you good ways to save money and have write-offs and things like that as a business owner. Because as a real estate agent, you're a business owner and you're taxed that way. So, we recommend getting an accountant, having a conversation with them, figuring out what it looks like for you. There is the option of starting an LLC, and depending on how much money you make, you can get S Corp status. And we're not going to get into the details of that just because an accountant can kind of point you in the right direction. But as a general rule, talking percentages, set aside 20 to 30% of every commission check for your taxes. Now that might be different for your household depending on what your tax bracket is, but 20 to 30% should cover you. At the end of the year, you might not even use all that, and you got a little extra money in an account, but create a separate bank account for you to put that money in. So if you go deposit a check, in your bank, automatically transfer 20 to 30% over into another account, and that way it just keeps it.
Yeah, this is so important because it's hard whenever you see the full commission check to understand that that's not all your money. And the IRS will ruin your life if you don't pay your taxes.
That's true.
So yes, if you make $1,250, just say 25%. 250 has got to go into a separate account. You don't touch it, you forget about it. That's not part of your total money or anything like that. That is already designated for your taxes, whether you pay quarterly or on an annual basis. So whatever system you do, just figure out some system that works for you to keep track of your expenses, your mileage. Talk with your CPA, and just start practicing that, because guys, it is so important running your own business to know what your expenses are and to be able to keep track of it. Okay? All right, so a little bit more as far as the budgets. Obviously, the goal of the budget is to tell your money so you have money. Okay? One of the things that when you start getting yourself in a good position is you can start investing more. There's so many opportunities in the world, but especially in the real estate world, to start investing and flipping houses and buying rentals. And if you don't handle your money properly, you won't even be able to stay in real estate. Okay, your clients are going to smell it all over you that you have to sell this house to pay your bills. You have to be smart with the money that's coming in, live below your means, so whether the deal falls apart or not, doesn't put that extra pressure on you financially. Totally get, everyone's in different situations, especially just starting out. But anyways, we're going to give you a few tips and percentages as far as how to save, what to save, where that goes and all that. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is debt. Everyone has different opinions on debt, whether it's good, whether it's bad. I think we all agree that most debt is bad. It just adds stress to your life. And so the first thing I'm going to tell you is get out of debt. Okay? And whatever that looks like for you, putting so much, percentage of each check towards your debt, try and get out of debt, and that is going to free you up a ton emotionally. Jump in at any point if you want to add anything.
Yep.
Next thing I'm going to tell you, so if you need to know your percentages as far as where your money's going. So obviously you get a paycheck, 25% goes to taxes. What most people do at that point, if you tithe 10% and then tithe, but 15% is kind of a good rule of thumb to start saving. Now, here's what I would tell you with a commission-based job or career. The goal, in my opinion, is to get an emergency fund or an account built up that if you don't sell a house, or you have a dry spell, or the market turns, then you still have enough money in your account to run your business as normal. And what, is it 3 months, 6 months, 12 months? You have to decide that. So you build up that account. Maybe it is 15% of each paycheck that's going into that account to build it up. Then once that is accomplished, now you can really start investing. You can start putting 15%, or if you don't have any debt, maybe it's a higher percentage into an investment account. And as these opportunities present themselves, you can jump on them. And now you start having multiple streams of income coming in.
The idea is simply just to prepare for the future. That's why a lot of us are in real estate, is to earn an income for our family and provide a good future for them. And so it's really hard to know if you're providing a good future for them if you don't know where your money's going, and you've got all these expenses that go out every month, and then, oh no, all of a sudden I don't have enough money here, and then I got to go out and try to sell houses, and it's just kind of an emotional roller coaster. And so we want to create some tips that allow you to just put some of these in place so that you already know when you get a commission check, this goes here, this goes here, this goes here, this goes here, this is what we're living off of. And it just kind of put some peace of mind.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, we're coming up this next year, while we're recording this video, but this next year is an election year. You know, we don't know what that's going to do to the real estate market. The market is good right now. We don't know what it looks like in the future. And so it is important to plan ahead. You know, the people who planned ahead before the recession were able to capitalize on that by buying up distressed properties and really jump into the investing world. You know, you might not be at a place like that right now, but creating a budget, being smart with your taxes, and getting into a regular investing schedule, whether that is just putting a little bit of money aside, you know, for an investment down the road, whatever it is, it's smart, whether it is a 401k, whether it is mutual funds, whether it's whatever it is, you know, just preparing for the future is important there. And so that pretty much wraps it up for just this topic of budgeting. There's a lot more that we can cover. There's a lot more details, but I would recommend start with a budget, ask questions. Of course, we'd love to help you, but I'm sure you have people in your life as well that you look up to that could give you some advice on investing and things like that too. But just be a sponge. You know, one thing, you can go out and there are hundreds of thousands of resources with books and podcasts that you can really study and learn how to be smart with your money and let your money work for you. And so we just encourage you to be smart with your money. It's going to make your life so much better as a real estate agent, but just in general. And if you have any questions, obviously we'd love to help you. But
yeah, we want you guys to be successful, and money is the number one reason that people, you know, have stress in their life, get divorced, get out of the business, whatever it is. And so we don't want those things for you. And so we want to be here to help. And we hope this video has, you know, at least maybe got you thinking. And obviously, you know, like Aaron said, it has to be on a one-on-one basis to really get the details for your life personally. So anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and go sell some houses.